When you think about gig work, your mind probably jumps right to stuff like DoorDash or Uber, right? Food delivery, ride sharing, that's what we all know. But there's this whole other side to the gig economy, one that's working behind the scenes, pretty much powering other businesses. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on Dispatch, a delivery app that does things a little differently. Its whole game is business to business. So, here's our game plan. First, we're going to look at the exact problem that Dispatch was built to solve. Then, we'll see how it works as a business-to-business solution. After that, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of what's in it for the drivers. Then, we'll talk about what it's really like on the road. And finally, we'll give our final verdict on who this gig is actually a good fit for. You see, to really get what Dispatch is all about, you've got to start with the problem it was designed to fix. It's this sort of invisible drain on efficiency that costs companies a ton of money, and a lot of them don't even realize it's happening. And it all boils down to this one simple question. This is what co-founder Andrew Leone kept seeing in his own distribution business. He'd watch these highly skilled, highly paid HVAC techs or industrial contractors have to completely stop what they were doing, mid-job, just to go on a quick errand to pick up one little part they were missing. And right there, that's the light bulb moment. Think about it. You're paying a specialist, let's say $50 an hour, to do a job that anyone with a driver's license could do. It's just a terrible use of resources. It creates this huge inefficiency gap where your expert isn't fixing the problem, but the clock is still ticking. That's time and money just vanishing into thin air. So with that problem staring them in the face, Leone and his co-founder decided to build the solution. They created a tech platform that basically gives any company an entire delivery fleet, without them having to own a single van. And this is Dispatch in a nutshell. It's a platform that connects businesses needing something delivered right now with local independent drivers. The keywords here are business to business. We're not talking about someone's late-night pizza. We're talking about industrial parts, medical supplies, construction materials, real commercial deliveries happening in over 75 cities across the US. Okay, so that's the business angle. It makes a ton of sense for them. But what about for you, the driver? If you've got a car, a van, maybe a truck, what's the deal? What's on the table? Let's flip this around and look at it from your perspective. All right, here it is. This is the big, shiny number that gets everyone's attention, $1 to $3 per mile. Now, of course, the exact pay depends on your vehicle type and your market, but this rate is the main reason so many gig workers give Dispatch a serious look. Of course, you can't just jump right in. There are a few hoops to jump through. You've got to be at least 23 years old, have a couple of years of driving experience under your belt, and you need to be able to lift up to 50 pounds. Your driving record and background need to be pretty clean too. Oh, and here's a big one. You have to pay a $40 fee for your own background check just to sign up. Now, once you're on the platform, the process is actually really simple. You open the app and you'll see a list of available jobs near you. You can tap on any of them to see all the important stuff, where it starts, where it ends, what you're hauling, and most importantly, exactly how much it pays. You see a job you like, you accept it, you use the app to track your route and take a picture for proof of delivery, and then you get paid. Easy. So that's the pitch, right? That's how it's supposed to work. But what's it actually like when you're out there on the road trying to make a living? Let's dig into the real-world experience and see how the expectation lines up with reality. And like with most things, there are two sides to this coin. On the good side, drivers absolutely love that the pay is shown up front and they have an instant pay option. People also say the driver support team is actually helpful, which is a big deal in the gig world. But then there's the bad side. The number of jobs you see is totally dependent on your city. You don't get paid a dime for the miles you drive to the pickup or if a job gets canceled last minute. And as more drivers sign up, the competition for the good jobs gets tougher. And here's what it looks like when everything goes right. This driver says they absolutely love it, calling it one of their top 3 apps. For them, it's just so easy. Pick up here, drop off there. Simple as that. This is the dream scenario. But then, for every driver like that, you've got someone with this experience. This person did one delivery and said, never again. They felt the payout was a total joke. And this contrast right here is everything. It really shows how much your experience on this platform can vary. A huge piece of the puzzle is when you can actually work. Because Dispatch is serving other businesses, guess when they're open? That's right, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. That's where the vast majority of the work is. If you're looking for a side hustle to do on nights and weekends, you're probably going to find the app is pretty quiet. So it really all boils down to three key things if you want to be successful with dispatch. First, location, location, location. You've got to be in or very close to a major city to see a steady flow of jobs. Second, your vehicle makes a huge difference. If you have a van or a truck, you'll get access to bigger, better paying gigs. And third, your availability. You have to be ready to roll during those core weekday business hours. All right, let's wrap all this up. We've looked at the problem dispatch solves, how their solution works, what they promise drivers, and what drivers are actually experiencing. So, what's the final verdict? Is this the right gig for you? Well, it seems dispatch is tailor-made for a very specific kind of person. It's for the driver who already has a reliable car, van, or truck, who lives near a busy metro area, and who has a pretty open schedule during the day on weekdays. It's an awesome way to supplement your income from other gig apps, especially if you like the more professional vibe of B2B work instead of dealing with restaurant orders or passengers. But if there is one single piece of advice to take away from all this, it's this. Do not put all your eggs in the dispatch basket. The smartest, most successful gig workers have a multi-app strategy. They run dispatch alongside other apps, and they cherry-pick the best-paying, most convenient job available at any given moment, no matter which platform it's on. And all of this leaves us with a much bigger question to chew on. As platforms like Dispatch get more and more popular, they're creating this massive, on-demand workforce for businesses, all without the costs of having employees or owning vehicles. So, are we looking at the future of logistics here? A completely decentralized fleet of independent drivers handling that crucial last mile? It's definitely something to think about.